Bloodhound Project is all about building a 1,000-mile-an-hour car, but more importantly it's about inspiring that next generation of children to science, mathematics and engineering.
We had an initial briefing with the engineers and decided that an angle plate was the best route to go. We're here today to go through the final designs before manufacturing starts. The angle plates are going to be assembly jigs, predominantly for the front and rear suspension. We're probably looking somewhere around 3 months from the initial discussions about the design to delivery. Well, we're here today to see the first steps in creating the angle plates that will ultimately go in to help construct the chassis of the Bloodhound car. The chassis is basically the mounting point for the rocket and the jet engine. First of all, a pattern's created, which is a wooden mould that is exactly the same as you want your finished article to be. The pattern is then put into a sand mould. The sand's then left to harden off and the pattern's removed, and that aperture is then used to pour the molten cast iron in to create the end product. It's important that we use cast iron because it's a very stable material, and although it's going into a temperature controlled environment, if there is temperature changes, the cast iron will stay very, very stable, whereas using other materials it will allow the angle plates to move a little bit, which could be detrimental to the setup of the car. It's very exciting actually. It's sort of any schoolboy's dream, I suppose. I get quite passionate about engineering because I love it, but it's something, and certainly this project I adore, and I think it's something that probably a lot of people's children will have a poster on their walls for, the same as I had posters of Concorde 40 years ago. Since we were up at the foundry, the castings have been brought down. They've had the outer skin removed to allow the stresses to act on themselves and de-stress the angle plate itself. It's then secondary machined, ready to go onto the jig borer, to have the slots put in, to have any datum holes put in, to have any tapped holes put in, and then as a final process it then goes onto the grinder to be finished machined. It's important that the angle plates are very accurate because everything is datumed off that, and everything moving forward is a result of the accuracy of whatever you're mounting it from. So the more accurate the angle plates are, the more accurately they can build up the chassis of the car.
We need to make sure that the car is absolutely symmetrical and that all the bits fit together perfectly. And our suppliers are generating products to microns in terms of accuracy. If the car is out in any fashion, we could end up going down the desert sideways. We have to make sure we're assembling them to the same accuracy, and WDS's products will help us to do that.
The whole process is done in-house. It's done on all our machinery, and that way we can keep quality and accuracy to an absolute maximum. Well, today we're down at the Bloodhound Technical Centre in Avonmouth, and we're here to see the delivery of the angle plates that we've created.
And WDS has given us 2 very large angle plates which will help us to assemble the rear sub-assembly and also the front suspension assembly, which is great. It's fantastic to have them on board.
Some of the technology that's involved with the car, it's really, really mind-blowing because it's far and above anything that I imagined. Just to hear that a Formula 1 engine is actually powering the fuel pump for this car is just mind-blowing in itself.
Our first run's in 2015 in South Africa, but we'll only be going up to about 600 miles per hour in that first attempt. We'll be just using the jet engine then, and then we'll probably return in 2016 and go for 800 and then 1,000 miles an hour.
Everything WDS do as a company is supplied with a certificate of conformity to make sure that it complies exactly with the drawings that have been approved by the customer.
Looking forward to looking at the actual project take place, it will be a sort of edge of the seat moment, I think, and we'll be very proud to have played a very small part in achieving that record.
WDS's performance in terms of delivering their product has been fantastic. We couldn't ask for anything better really, and we're looking forward to using them into the future.